There's no way Disney's picking him up after his contract expires in April. They will let it expire, and that's it. Disney doesn't want this. Disney shareholders don't want politics. They just want they want entertainment. They want, and why would you want to allow 50 automatically, take, okay, there's 80 million voters that we don't want watching our show. I think he's affected by the head writer, who's his wife, who's a liberal. That's
the head writer is his wife.
Yeah, that's way out there.
Jimmy Kimmel's wife.
Jimmy Kimmel.
No, I know, but the head writer for what? For the show?
Jimmy Kimmel show.
For the show,
is his wife.
Did you see the podcast where he looked like he was a hostage by her over-liberal white anger and bitter?
Over the past few months, Jimmy Kimmel's show has been taking hit after hit, and viewers have been wondering what went wrong. Stop guessing, because Rob Schneider just pulled back the curtain with a blunt take on the downfall. What he said was brutal, explosive, and far more intense than fans anticipated ever. Buckle up, tap subscribe, and jump right in now. First, here's Kimmel's wild theory, followed by Schneider's fiery response.
You were wondering how bad these Epstein files are for Trump? Turns out they're Invade Venezuela bad. This is literally the plot of the movie Wag the Dog. The president gets caught scandal, so he attacks a smaller country to distract us, and here we are, distracted. On Saturday, Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his wife were captured by Delta Force at their home in Caracas and brought to New York. Trump watched the operation unfold in real time from the bunker in his basement at Mar-a-Lago.
So there's Kimmel running laps with a conspiracy theory, gift-wrapping it like it's undeniable fact, all to take a swing at Trump. That routine, it's old, predictable, and beyond played out. I'll hand it over to Schneider so he can lay out exactly why it doesn't hold up.
My response to that is, it's a really good warning to comedians and other hosts and other people who do shows that if you go too far down the conspiracy rabbit hole, or if you just get too politicized, and then all of a sudden you're not you're not in the funny business anymore. You're just in the it's politics, and it's it's really a propaganda through comedic imposition. They're imposing their views.
Schneider says this isn't some unlucky slump, but something the show brought on itself. In his view, the program didn't accidentally drift into decline but deliberately moved in that direction when Kimmel stepped away from the kind of humor that originally built his audience. Instead of focusing on being genuinely funny, he gradually reshaped his role into that of a late-night commentator centered on a single political target. Where there were once quick jokes and clever bits, entire monologues now revolve around Trump, and Schneider believes that constant focus has pushed away viewers who tuned in for comedy rather than commentary. Even longtime fans, he argues, are getting tired of the same repeating pattern night after night, where the material circles back to the same outrage, the same themes, and the same tone, sounding more like a sermon than stand-up. When jokes start leaning into conspiracy-style framing, he says they stop feeling like satire and begin to resemble partisan messaging instead. According to Schneider, audiences can sense that shift in tone, and instead of laughing or escaping for a while, they feel lectured. Once a comedy show loses its sense of humor, he believes it gradually loses the very reason people chose to watch it in the first place.
It wasn't funny, and it wasn't particularly interesting, and it's just factually incoherent, because believe me, if there was anything in those files about Trump, the Democrats had it for years. They would have released it, but you think they would have hid that stuff to protect Trump?
Schneider also argues that Democrats have had their hands on those files for years, and if there were anything truly explosive tied to Trump, it would have been blasted across every headline already. Music, in his view, the political motivation alone would have guaranteed that if there was a smoking gun, it wouldn't be sitting in a drawer gathering dust. Yet, he says Kimmel keeps leaning into the idea that Trump is secretly buried in those documents, just waiting for the big reveal. To Schneider, that's not sharp satire. It's tunnel vision. He sees it as an ongoing obsession with wanting to see Trump humiliated, whether the proof, music, exists or not. From his perspective, that crosses the line from comedy into storytelling fueled by desire rather than evidence. And he believes viewers can sense that difference. Instead of laughing, many feel worn out by it, like they're hearing the same prediction on repeat, powered more by frustration than by facts.
Look, obviously, all that stuff should come out, but the presumption that there's stuff there, how much more of this is it's people see that Russia was the only two people not involved in the Russia-Trump collusion was Russia and Trump. Everybody else seemed to be colluding. So I think the American people see through that. It's just like when you watch the news. Depending if you're watching CNN, you have to go, okay, what if politics is war by other means? This is war. So it's just a political warfare. So what are they not telling you?
Schneider insists the pattern isn't new, and to him, it feels almost predictable at this point. He points to the years of headlines claiming Trump was colluding with Russia, music, a storyline that dominated cable news, fueled panel debates, and became the engine behind nonstop political outrage. Day after day, it was treated as settled fact in the court of public opinion. Investigations rolled on, speculation intensified, and suspicion hung in the air. But when everything finally played out, the outcome was far more layered and less definitive than the early certainty suggested. Now he says the attention has pivoted to the Epstein files and the tone feels strikingly similar. Allegations are being framed with confidence before all the evidence is fully laid out. For Schneider, the cycle looks the same. Construct the narrative, amplify it at full volume, and wait to see what lands. And when the claims don't unfold the way they were first presented, credibility takes another hit. Each time that happens, he argues, trust thins out a little more, and audiences grow more doubtful of the voices pushing the story hardest.
It's treating your audience like they're stupid or like they're just in your own political echo chamber. And it's like he listens. I think he's affected by the head writer, who's his wife, who's a liberal. That's
The head writer is his wife?
yeah, that's way out there.
Jimmy Kimmel's wife.
Jimmy Kimmel.
No, I know, but the head writer for what? For the
For
show?
Jimmy Kimmel show.
For the show
Is his wife?
Did you see the podcast where he looked like he was a hostage by her over liberal white anger and bitterness? Oh, of
I
course.
think it's obviously, look, Jimmy Kimmel's certainly capable of being funny. I remember doing, yes.
Schneider argues that a big reason Kimmel's ratings are slipping is simple. People feel patronized instead of amused. In his view, the steady stream of conspiracy-heavy commentary doesn't land like clever satire. It lands like a lecture. And audiences today aren't just sitting there nodding along. They've got unlimited access to information. With a few taps, they can check sources, read opposing takes, and draw their own conclusions without needing a late-night host to frame it for them. So, when speculation is delivered with absolute certainty, Schneider says viewers don't feel enlightened. They feel underestimated. That music disconnect, he believes, is poison for a comedy show. Late night used to be a place to unwind, laugh, and take a break from the noise and not get another dose of it wrapped in punchlines. And when people sense they're being steered instead of entertained, they vote with their attention. They close the tab. They change the channel. According to Schneider, that's exactly what's happening now. Not in small trickles, but in waves.
I remember doing the show, he was the MC while we did the Hugh Hefner roast 8 days after 9/11. And he was funny. He can be funny. I think when you get so emotionally vested in something, and I just think it's I will tell you this right now, there's no way Disney's picking him up after his contract expires in April. They will let it expire and that's it. Disney doesn't want this. Disney shareholders don't want politics. They just want entertainment. They want, and why would you want to allow 50 automatically, take, okay, there's 80 million voters that we don't want to watching our
Schneider doesn't just frame this as a creative issue. He points to the cold math behind it. When Kimmel's contract comes up, he says Disney will be looking at numbers, not nostalgia. In television, sentiment doesn't balance the books. Ratings and music do. Revenue does. If the audience keeps shrinking, the financial case for renewal shrinks right along with it. Advertisers aren't paying for vibes, they're paying for viewers. Fewer eyes means less money, and less money forces hard decisions. He also zooms out and says this isn't only about one host. To him, it reflects a bigger slide in late night's cultural weight. These shows used to thrive on broad universal humor, jokes that could land with anyone, no matter their politics. Now, he argues, many have traded that middle ground for overt political messaging. Music, in his view, most hosts skew heavily left and craft their material for that slice of the audience alone. The risk, music, he says, is obvious. When you narrow the room, you narrow the crowd. Millions of viewers who once felt included start feeling sidelined. Music, and when people no longer feel welcomed or entertained by a show that used to belong to everyone, they don't protest, they just disappear.
They just disappear.
When's the last time Jimmy Kimmel was actually funny?
Well, I will tell you, you can't really come up with like, well, that was a really good zinger. Jay Leno, you can remember, I remember his jokes, when he was on his, hey, remember when Starbucks is opening up another 600 Starbucks. And where can they open it up? And the only place I can think of is inside of the Starbucks. He would have.
Leno was the best.
He was really the best comedian of his era, and and he was.
But he was fair, though. That's the thing about Leno. He'd call out all sides.
All those guys. Carson and Letterman.
Schneider says the early giants of late night understood a basic rule. If you're going to roast everybody. No sacred cows, no protected teams. They swung left, they swung right, and the audience trusted that sooner or later, everyone would get tagged. The humor wasn't built around fixating on one person. It was built around the chaos of the times, the absurdity of politics, the weirdness of culture, and the shared insanity of the moment. That's why people from totally different backgrounds could sit down and laugh at the same show. They knew the host wasn't picking favorites. Even if a joke stung, it felt fair. And that fairness built loyalty. Schneider argues that balance has evaporated. Music, instead of spreading the punches around, some hosts zero in on the same target night after night. Trump becomes the gravitational center of every monologue. And when it starts to feel lopsided, the vibe shifts. It's no longer a free-for-all roast. It feels selective. Music, and once the comedy feels one-directional, it stops feeling like comedy at all. It starts feeling like something with an agenda.
They obviously, whoever's in power, they should go after, but with jokes. And I think, traditionally Trump has been thin-skinned about any jokes, but I also think those weren't jokes.
Adam Carolla was here. He was very complimentary of Kimmel. Like, he wouldn't say anything bad about Kimmel because he said Kimmel's the reason why he came up and all this other stuff. So he's got.
But I know that him and they diverge. But we have to move. We all have to. We can have divergent views without demonizing each other. And the problem with what Jimmy Kimmel does and what I just saw is it's just a continuation of the demonization of half of America. And who's that getting? Why was that getting us any?
Schneider says it didn't stop with Trump. In his view, the target list expanded and now it feels like anyone on the right walks on stage with a bullseye already painted on their back. He argues that kind of blanket approach doesn't elevate the conversation, it hardens it. Instead of cooling tensions, it cranks them up. Comedy, when it's firing on all cylinders, lets people laugh at the same ridiculous stuff together. It turns shared frustration into release. But when the jokes tilt heavily in one direction, the room splits. It stops feeling like a big table where everyone's invited and starts feeling like a rally. Music, he's clear that criticism isn't the enemy. Politicians, Trump included, should be questioned, challenged, even roasted. That's healthy. That's culture breathing. Music, the line, he says, gets crossed when the punchlines lean on speculation or drift into conspiracy territory. Once that music happens, the trust erodes. People don't feel like they're hearing sharp commentary anymore. They feel like they're hearing a storyline being pushed. According to Schneider, audiences aren't allergic to tough jokes. They're allergic to what feels slanted, overcooked, or detached from reality. When comedy drops balance, he believes viewers don't just roll their eyes.
Again, it's just politics for political gain. It's some sort of, propaganda with comedic imposition. This is, and the idea that the audience is going to laugh. They're not laughing. They're applauding, in the little political echo chamber. I'm telling you, he won't be there after April.
Well, let me read this.
Let
me read this. Rob, is this Colbert? Let's see Colbert, but I want to go to Conan right afterwards, and I want to get his thoughts on Conan. So go ahead and play this one here.
Those Epstein files must be crazy.
I'm something! I'm anything!
It's like all these late-night hosts are reading from the same script. Every night the punchlines change, but the message barely shifts. Take Stephen Colbert for instance. He jokes that Trump's moves in Venezuela might be a distraction from the files, framing it like some hidden scheme. The problem isn't the joke itself. It's that the angle is identical to what pops up across every other show. Instead of hitting with fresh, clever humor, it starts to feel recycled and predictable. Viewers tune in expecting originality, wit, and surprise, not reruns of the same commentary dressed as comedy. Music, when people sense they're being lectured instead of entertained, the spell breaks. And once that trust is gone, the laughter stops. People don't just frown, they click away, switch channels, and keep scrolling.
Let me read Conan's and I'm going to come to you. So Conan O'Brien says, F Trump comics have been co-opted by anger, just screaming. Comedian late night show Conan O'Brien criticizes comics who are more focused on screaming about Trump. Rob, was there a clip on this or was this? Okay, go for it. Play this.
Some comics go the route of,
Can we raise the audio a little bit, guys?
I'm going to just say F Trump all the time, or that's their comedy. And I think, well, now a little bit you're being co-opted because you're so angry. You've been lulled, it's like a siren leading you into the rocks. You've been lulled into just saying F Trump, F Trump, F Trump, screw this guy, you know, and I think you've now put down your best weapon, which is being funny.
At the end of the day, Schneider lays it all out. This is why Kimmel and plenty of other late-night hosts are losing their audiences. Late night used to thrive because it was sharp, funny, and fair, skewering everyone with equal force. Now the lens has narrowed. Shows are one-sided, fixated on political targets like Trump, and sometimes tiptoe into conspiracy territory. Audiences today have instant access to facts. They see the exaggeration, the bias, the recycled, music, angles. They aren't fooled, and they don't stick around. Ratings slide, advertisers take notice, and networks like Disney will think twice when the numbers no longer justify keeping the show afloat. Comedy that alienates millions can't last. Schneider's point is simple. Viewers aren't rejecting satire. They're rejecting agenda dressed up as humor. The takeaway is clear. Late night needs to entertain again, not lecture if it wants to survive. And with that, we close today's video. If you liked the breakdown, smash that like button and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next.